friends. Welcome to Alternative Future. I'm your host, Cooper Conway, and today we are going to be talking to my good friend and fellow contributor at Young Voices, Rachel Chiu. Rachel writes about technology and public policy, and her commentary has been featured in U.S. and U.K. news outlets, including The National Review, U.S. Today, City AM, among many others. Rachel, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much. It's great to chat with you.
All right, so today we'll be discussing big tech and antitrust legislation. And my first question is, what is the controversy with big tech?
Yeah, so we hear this term big tech being thrown out a lot, especially in the media, by lawmakers, and it's just become part of our popular discourse. But there isn't a precise definition for it. So usually when we refer to big tech, we're talking about the largest and most dominant companies in the technology industry. So that's Google, Facebook, Amazon, and the like. Sometimes Twitter is thrown in there as well, but they're not at the same size and scale. For lawmakers, in an antitrust perspective, the concern they have with big tech is that these companies have become too large and too powerful, and they believe that antitrust needs to address that.
So what are the implications of antitrust laws on the economy?
Yeah, so I mean, the implications are really profound. So antitrust laws are a collection of federal laws that enable the government to manipulate the market in ways that they really shouldn't be, right? So they can pick winners and losers very freely. And that is a very powerful tool that, if abused, can have disastrous effects on the economy in ways that run counter to the free market that we have.
Is there any way, though, that antitrust can level the playing field amongst technology companies and their competitors?
It's possible, but it's not going to be the outcomes that lawmakers nor consumers will want. There's something very dangerous, I think, fundamentally, about letting lawmakers set a ceiling on successful companies to say that once you get to this point, you're committing some type of misconduct, right? But at the end of the day, misconduct is bad. Big is not bad. And if they have the opportunity to rewrite antitrust laws as they see fit, we're going to see a lot of problems, especially amongst big companies, even though they perhaps didn't do anything wrong.
So say if these legislators are successful, what might happen to these popular companies such as Amazon, Facebook, Apple, etc.? Disruption of services?
Yeah.
Is it going to be less safe to use their platforms and less affordable? Who's going to be affected the most?
Yeah, so all of those things you said are likely to occur. We're going to see, especially for Gen Z, they may feel the impact the most because we grew up with these services and they've become embedded in our everyday lives, right? But we're going to see other folks too who rely upon these companies to communicate, to buy goods. They're going to see big disruptions as well. I'm concerned specifically that some of these companies may have less accessible options and less affordable ones, which are going to affect the most vulnerable populations.
So what's the right way for antitrust to deal with big tech?
Yeah, so antitrust laws work as is. They've been shaped over decades to get to where we are at this point. There's something that was introduced 40 years ago by Judge Robert Bork called the Consumer Welfare Standard, which means that we measure harm in antitrust by consumers. And I think that that has been a good guiding post for how we should use antitrust laws. So if big tech companies are actually committing misconduct, antitrust laws can capture that. We don't need to rewrite the laws just because they don't fit certain political aims.
Wow. Thank you, Rachel, for that insight, and thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of Alternative Future. I'm Cooper Conway. We'll see you next time.